So I used to just wear polo shirts when I was really fat because I don't know, they just kind of were dark colored and would cover everything. And you could tell that I had man titties, but I would avoid shirts like this that were light in color because I felt like I looked like the big dude from Fight Club who just had huge, huge boobies. And it turns out that I am apparently going to look like that no matter how much weight I lose. So that's fun. It's always fun to lose weight in places you don't care about. Like apparently I think I told you guys that my girlfriend's kids call me Little Bum Bum. Apparently I lost the majority of my weight in my ass. I had no idea that my ass was that big. Apparently it was because I feel like I look the same everywhere else. And my titties, feels like by losing weight my titties have gotten bigger, which is fun. That's always a blast, right? I swear today's going to be, well, we'll see. It will be it'll be funny. I have something kind of serious I want to talk. And it's not that serious. Don't relax, Lee. I just have something that I've been going back and forth on saying that I'll end the episode with. It's going to be kind of a short episode this week, but I just want to get all the fun stuff out of the way and then decide if I'm going to talk about this because it's been an interesting couple days. But this will be the last episode of 2021. What a year. What a year. Remember when 2020 was going to be the only shitty year? And then 2021 was like, well, wait and see. Oh, by the way, if you do not know, South Park has a 2-part COVID special on Paramount Plus, and it is hysterical. So get your free trial going. This episode is not brought to you by Paramount Plus. I would love if it was Paramount, but it's not. But you should really watch it because those guys are geniuses. It's just I feel like I'm lucky to watch. You know, it's weird because it's like fart jokes and stupid shit, but they're so smart at it. It feels like they could have written. Like I bet they could win an Oscar if they really wanted to. Do you remember when Matt and Trey went to the Oscars? Was it the Oscars or it was some award ceremony and they went on acid? And acid does not seem like something I'd want to do in public with cameras around, like television cameras and bright lights and other celebrities. It seems terrible, but they just I feel like they get bored because they're so smart and they just want to make it a little bit interesting for themselves because they're so good. Like I aspire to be as good at anything that Matt and Trey are at like, you know what? I wish I knew what season it was. Most shows go downhill after a while, and South Park might be better now, 20-something years later. How crazy is that? That they're better with age. They're like a fine wine, and it's funnier and funnier every time. I that's really all. This is just a PSA to go watch the South Park COVID special. But this will be the last episode of 2021. Next week I'm going to Mexico with my girlfriend, and I will be gaining back every ounce of the 140 pounds that I lost this year. No, I won't. But probably 10 pounds because I'm going to a place with 24-hour room service that I've already paid for. And when I get there, so my girlfriend makes fun of me because I think every scenario ever out in like full way before. It's probably never going to happen. But I've been thinking, like, how am I going to get my money's worth from this trip? And I want to have, like, every 6 hours room service just bring something up, like a midnight burger. I want to, everyone says you shit from drinking the water in Mexico. I want to make, like, the world's biggest shit from just so much food. I'm so excited. And I know you're like, well, Lee, you lost a lot of weight. Maybe you shouldn't. Leave me alone. This is my moment. This is because I can still eat. A lot of people were like, oh, when you lose weight, you're not going to want it and you won't be able to eat as much. Bullshit. I can still eat everything. I might not feel good. I finally understand. Like when I was really fat, a lot of people would say like, oh, I went to McDonald's and my tummy hurts. I don't feel good. I kind of get that now, but I fight through it like a champion because I'm not a quitter, and I'm not gonna go crazy. I am. So I still have a fat person in my mind, and when it was Halloween, what was Halloween? I think I was getting close to some sort of milestone, and I bought a bunch of candy that I wanted to eat on Halloween, and I have had 2 pieces of it. Like they had like the little mini pieces, and that was recently. I opened up 2 of the bags just to see if they were still good, because last year I bought Girl Scout cookies and I opened them like 8 months later, and needless to say, they weren't that good anymore. But thankfully, whatever preservatives they're putting in Reese's and Twix work fantastic, and they still taste good. I used to love, when I was really fat, bringing snacks for the hotel. There's nothing I love. If I could live in a hotel, I would. I love everything about hotels. I love the comfortable beds. I love that they clean your room. I like that there's a big TV. I like that it's just everything is there for you to like have a relaxing time. I like getting food delivered to the hotel, but I also like having snacks in the hotel, because what's better than waking up and eating an entire bag of trail mix, because that's healthy. It has raisins. It's healthy. Trust me. And so I sometime in the last 4 or 5 years, I've noticed that if you start putting food into your carry-on, they will test it and shame you for bringing it through. So I'm putting it in my checked bag, and if I know exactly how much candy I have, TSA. So don't you dare try to steal my candy. I guarantee I get one of those slips that says, "Oh, we checked your bag," and then randomly my Twix. If you touch my Reese's, I'll Karen out. There will be supervisors involved. I'll get Obama involved if you touch my Reese's, TSA, because I'm so excited. I've thought about, can I do an early dinner and a late dinner? And I'm not. So just so you know, I'm not going to do all of this. I'm going to eat a lot, but I'm not going to have an early dinner and a late dinner, at least not every night. But some nights, like I miss Mexican food, and I'm going to Mexico, so I'd like a taco. I don't know what to expect from like resort tacos. I hope they're not lizard. They're not going to be lizard meat, but I don't know if they're going to be like as good as the rest of Mexico. Probably not. But I feel like a 5 p.m. taco and a 9 p.m. dinner, that's fine. I wish I could bring edibles with me, because I feel like that's probably why it's illegal to travel internationally with marijuana, because if I owned an establishment with all-you-can-eat buffets, I would make sure, like, I would drug test you every day. Because if I had edibles and an all-you-can-eat buffet and 24-hour all-you-can-eat room service, there might be like a medical emergency. I'd be like, "Sir, you've eaten more than anyone in the history of this resort." And I'd be like, "Well, keep it," because I'm not a big drinker. That's the problem. I'm going to drink because I'm cheap and I want to make sure I get my money's worth. I've had a talk with my girlfriend. I love her. She's great. The problem with women, not all women, some women, is they talk a big game when it comes to eating, and then they have 2 or 3 bites, and then I have to finish it because I'm not going to let a plate go empty. And so I've been like, listen, this is the Super Bowl of eating here. We're getting our money's worth out of this whatever it's called, all-inclusive resort. And it's not like the night. I'm not trying to like. Sometimes you listen to a podcast and some guy's like, "Oh, I bought my new Ferrari." No, this is the first vacation I've taken in over a decade, and it was more expensive than I expected it to be, and so because of that, I'm going to be like, I swear I'm going to call them and be like, "Listen," because you don't have to tip apparently. I'm going to bring like 10 tens. Should I bring 20s? And I'm just going to tip a bunch of the room service guys. I'm going to be like, listen, every 4 hours, I want something. Just surprise me. I want something to. I haven't had breakfast. So I guess most of you probably know, but if you don't, the way I've lost weight is I've been having one meal a day for the past 13 months. And I've had a couple like breakfast for dinners, and then sometimes when I was at work, if like some guy I was working with wanted to get breakfast, I would get egg whites. But I haven't had like a good fat American breakfast with bacon and pancakes in over a year. And I am so excited to have eggs and bacon and toast. Oh, okay. So this is before this. This is going to be my first real adult Christmas. I'm so excited. So, here's the deal. I think, when was this? Was it last week? I think it was. If you don't know, now you know. My mom invited my girlfriend and her 2 kids over for Hanukkah, and we gave them latkes and lit the lights and gave them so many presents. But it was like sort of, I was jealous of their experience because my mom, she always gave me a ton of presents growing up, but it was like 1 or 2 a night because it had to last the 8 nights. Sort of like the candle oil. Candle oil? I feel like that's the right term. But when I was, God, it must have been around 13 or 14, I went to see my cousin, and he was married to a Christian lady, and he did not get disowned, by the way, but it was my first ever, because I got lucky as a kid. My dad's best friends invited us over for Christmas Eve every year. And that was a blast. They had Santa come down. He rang the jingle bells, and I got to sit on his lap and get presents, even though I don't even remember if I believed in. I probably at some point believed in Santa, but I don't remember it being a big thing because I was Jewish. And it was fun. Give me 1 second. I'm about to choke here. That water is stale. It has been open for a week. But I never really experienced like day of Christmas morning. And then when I was around 13 or 14, I went to my cousin's house. He had a very young daughter at the time, and like maybe 2 or 3, between 2 and 4, I would guess. And she got so excited under the tree that she just fell asleep after opening like half of her toys. And that was fun. But now like I'm an adult, this is going to be my first real Christmas morning. And we've been preparing. Well, she's been preparing. It's a lot of presents. And I didn't know how much thought went into it. Like each kid gets their own specific wrapping paper, which is fun. But what I'm really excited about is she's making cinnamon roll French toast, which I'm not going to eat a ton of because I'm getting ready for Mexico. But I feel like calories don't really count on Christmas. I'm not going to eat ham. By the way, why is ham such a big thing on Christmas? I like ham sandwiches, but like ham steak has always been, it's like not as good as bacon or steak. I don't get it. I'm sure it's like I'm not saying it's bad. It's not like I mean, I actually kind of like tofu, but it's not bad. It's not like fish. I'll put it that way. Fish. Yeah, I don't like fish. I did have tuna sashimi the other night. Do you care? No. But I'm excited for Christmas morning to see like these little girls just go crazy with presents. I didn't know, by the way, because I got a few gifts for her daughters, and I got some small ones. I don't know if you know this or not, but little kids are into something called fidgets now, which are basically, it's like bubble wrap, but it just never ends because it's on both sides. So I got a couple for each of them. I was like, should these go in the stockings or under the tree because they're kind of small? And she's like, well, actually, Santa does the stocking. I had no idea. Santa has a busy night. I didn't realize he had to do stockings and under the Christmas tree. It's pretty cool. Santa is he's doing a lot. So I hope all of you have a wonderful holiday. If you're celebrating, If you're not celebrating, so they're going to their dad's house after around lunchtime. So I actually get the best of both worlds because I get the morning excited, Santa's here, and then after we drop them off at the dad's house, we're going to do the Jewish Christmas and get Chinese food. And it's, why am I choking? Well, I'm getting emotional about Christmas. But I'm just so excited. Let me know what you guys do for Christmas. This is my first. I don't know what I should tell me what I should expect. I'm excited. I have my own. This is my first stocking. I don't even know what you do with a stock. I don't know what goes in a stocking, but I'm excited to have one. But let me just very quickly mention one of my favorite companies. This episode is sponsored by Manscaped. That's it. They're the producers of my favorite, like really the only ball trimmers I would ever use. Why would you use another ball trimmer? You want to use a no-name ball trimmer? No, use Manscaped. They're the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming, and they're leaving 2021 with a new product. Can you believe it? You think most people take this time off? Not Manscaped. They are coming out with new products when you're sleeping. You clean yourself up in the new year with their ultra premium body wash. And also there's a special offer. Use code Syatt for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. 4 million men worldwide trust Manscaped, and it's time to join. If you haven't joined them, make your 2022 even better with Manscaped. The last thing you want in 2022 is to be the guy with pubes. They stick out of your shorts. They smell. It looks like a crazy hair, like an Albert Einstein down there. You want to get your balls in and around someone's mouth in 2022, and it's not going to happen if you have crazy pubes. So do me a favor. Go to manscaped.com. Check out everything they have. They have the new ultra premium body wash. They have the lawnmower 4.0. They have the performance package. They have everything. So do me a favor, get 20% off and free shipping with code SYATT, SYATT, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Happy New Year to your balls. I didn't know I would be wishing Happy New Year to balls. When I went to college, I never thought, hey, I wish all your balls a Happy New Year, but it happened. Thank you very much to Manscaped. So, here is the deal. I've been going back and forth on if I wanted to talk about this. And I have to preface it by saying one thing. I'm not a political person. If you have a political side, that's great for you. I hate all the sides. Everyone always says, I want to vote for him because I feel like I could have a beer with him or her. There's not one politician that I like or would want to spend any amount of time with. I feel like they're all liars, and if they're not liars, they're just weird for wanting that much. I don't like it. I don't like anything about politics. I don't vote, and some people are going to get mad about that. But until they get rid of the Electoral College, I'm not voting because it doesn't make sense. But that's neither here nor there. So I normally don't bring stuff like this up because I just don't like to have to deal with the feedback or the negative feedback. I love the positive feedback, but with politics, it's not something I care about or know about, and to be honest, it shouldn't have anything to do with politics. But in April. So pretty much right when I got back from Florida, I got the first vaccine. I got the second one. I felt fine. I felt a little tired after the second one. I don't love a lot of stuff about it. I don't love that they're forcing people to do it. I don't love that people have to be. I don't know why this has turned political, but that's neither here nor there. I had a fucked up week last week, and I try to be as honest with you guys as I can, and I just wanted to talk about it. So, as I said, I'm going to Mexico. I wanted to get the booster. It was so hard to get. It was like I had to drive 45 minutes to get it. like 2 weeks later. And I was like, I want to get it before I go to Mexico. And I found this place. By the way, I did this. I was leaving my house, and there was an Amazon package on the stoop on my steps. So I went out to get it. I threw it back in, closed the door behind me, and I'm gonna have to stop locking the door from the inside because I locked myself out of my house. And I had to get back for work and get to my vaccine appointment. So it was fun taking an Uber to my vaccine, but I got, like I said, I got lucky. The first couple times, a lot of people got sick. I had a friend pass out from it. Nothing really happened to me the first couple of times, and I get to my appointment this time, and they're telling me about it. They did say, you have a lot of hair on your arms, and I'm like, well, that seems like a little bit unnecessary to tell me, but it's true. And she was like, the nurse or whoever was giving it to me said, okay, so this is a half dose. So I was ready to have my arm hurt a little bit. I did this thing where you move your arm around and then it's supposed to help. And I was feeling fine. I went back. My girlfriend picked me up because I had locked myself out. And by that point, my mom was back. So I went back to work, and I was on a couple Zoom calls, and I just started not feeling great. I started feeling like hot and cold, and then I was really fat. Like my mom even told me when I got back from LA like a year and a half ago, whatever it was, that she thought I was going to have a heart attack because of how fat I was. And I lost all this weight. I've never had heart pains, knock on wood, and I was just sitting on these Zoom calls, and I just wasn't feeling good. Like it wasn't like, okay, I'm having a heart attack. It was like there was like a pressure and tightness in my chest. And I was like, this isn't good, but I don't want to act crazy on these Zoom calls and just run away. So I made it through my Zoom calls, and my health insurance here has a thing where I can call a nurse, and I called a nurse. And by the way, Blue Cross Blue Shield, you need to change some of your protocols, because I legit called. I was having like chest issues, and she started going through a questionnaire. She's like, so what would you have done if you couldn't call this today? And I was like, I'm dying. Well, I didn't think I was dying, but I was like, this is not. And I answered. I should have been like, could we do this after? And so I told her what was happening. And I'm Jewish, so as I found out, I knew my dad's side had some heart issues, but it turns out my mom's side had it as well. And so she was asking me some questions, how I felt, and I thought she was gonna say, "You're fine. This is normal." And at the end of everything, she goes, "Sir, I recommend that you hang up right now and call an ambulance and go to the nearest hospital." Now, I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling like I said, like I was having a heart attack or I was going to die. I just wasn't feeling right. And I was like, really? I'm going to an ambulance? Because I learned a lot from Joey. But one thing I definitely learned is you don't call an ambulance because it's $1,800. I don't know if that's true, but I also was kind of embarrassed to be going in an ambulance. And she said, yeah, you should call an ambulance because they can start doing stuff right when they get there, and you need to call an ambulance. So luckily, I didn't listen to the nurse, which is not something you're probably supposed to do. But my mom, I emailed my boss, and I said, I got to go. And I felt bad because he was getting his booster that night. And I was like, I am having heart issues. So have fun getting your booster because I feel terrible. And we go to the ER, which luckily I have not spent much time in over the last 33 years. I've probably been a couple times, but I don't remember the last time I went. And there too, I was checking in, saying I have heart issues, and she's like, "So what's your address? What's your phone? Could you get me to a doctor, please? Could we do this at any other point?" And I did have to fight because I love making jokes, um, with like short interactions. Like anytime I thrive comedically when it's a cashier or like a server or just someone that very quick. I love making, forget what the question was, but I love making jokes. I was like, okay, you can't make jokes now. And they took me right back. They did an EKG. They did a blood test, which, by the way, and I get it that they're really busy, but I've gotten some blood tests before, and they, they rub it and they kiss it and they boop. This woman just straight up stabbed me in the whatever this is, the elbow, and she got it into the vein. I'll say that. But it was a painful experience. Did an EKG, which, by the way, I had to cut out of my chest hair, which is fun. I don't know why. I thought they were supposed to shave. Probably couldn't. You think they have like a little bzz, like a little buzzer there, but they don't. And I had to cut them out of my chest hair because I tried going in the shower and they weren't coming off. So that was fun. But I'm skipping ahead a little bit. They do the EKG, they do the blood test, they do a COVID test, which was the one they stick up to your brain, and that was as fun as it could be. That one makes me kind of wish I had COVID, which is not nice to say, but it's uncomfortable. I'll put it that way. And then I thought, because they got me into that right away, but this is why I wanted to talk about it. I've heard a lot, and again, I'm not political. I don't know anything about anything, but I've heard that the reason why we can't have socialized healthcare is because the wait will be crazy. And like you don't get to choose your doctor. There's a few reasons, but the wait is always something that you don't know how long they wait in England and Canada. That's what I've always heard. I got in there at, I think, around 3:30, 4 o'clock. Got right in. Then they sent me out to the waiting room. I was expecting to go to a room, and they were like, no. You're going to the waiting room. And the waiting room of an ER is a terrifying, like, it's like they could film Saw. Like, there's just people puking. There's homeless people everywhere. There's people who are clearly on drugs, having a great time, but they're on something. And I stayed out there for about 3 hours, and then I was like, you know what, let me just go check. Because there was no room to sit up front, so I was like, I was sitting around the corner. Let's just make sure they didn't miss me. And I went up to the head lady at the information desk. I was like, this is my name. Just ballpark, I'm having chest issues. How long do you think until I get seen by a doctor? And she just looked at her computer. She goes, minimum of 10 hours. And at that moment, my chest issues pretty much went away. Not really, but 10. I was already there for 3, and it was a minimum of 10. There was a woman in the waiting room who said she came in an ambulance, and she'd been there for 18 hours that day. Who can we hire? Because this hospital is a big. It reminded me of Vegas, like, when they say, like, oh, look around. This is how you know not to gamble. It's so big and beautiful. Where do you think they get this money? This hospital was huge, beautiful, and there was no way. Because if I wait 10 hours and something's wrong, I'll be dead by then anyways. So I don't want to die in the emergency room waiting room. So I was like, listen, if the test results had been bad, like the EKG and my blood pressure, if they were bad, would they have just taken me right up? And she goes, yes. So I said, can I leave? And she said, I can't tell you what to do, but yes, you can leave. And it was upsetting. Like, I'm happy to be back. I don't know, happy. I like that I have the option to be vaccinated. I like that I'm protecting, hopefully, my parents, and other people and myself, and I like doing things, and it makes it easier to travel when you're vaccinated, whatever the case may. If you don't want to get vaccinated, I really couldn't care less, because you can still get it when you're vaccinated. But it was a weird, between the 13 hours that I was going to have to, like, at minimum, wait with my mom there, which would have been a blast, because that's a place you want to take your mom to, the emergency room waiting room. But then the fact that I had to wait 13 hours just doesn't seem right. I get it. We're in a big city. It's going to be busy, but why is it 13 hours to see a doctor? And some of you, because the reason why I didn't want to talk about this necessarily was I know that half of you are going to think that, oh, good, he's talking shit about the vaccine. And the other half is going to be like, how dare you say anything negative about the vaccine? I'm not saying any of those things. But I don't hear really anyone give like a non-biased opinion about it. Either they love the vaccine and we're stupid for not getting it, or you're stupid for getting the vaccine. And I fall somewhere in the middle. Like I said, I like to do stuff. I ate so much fast food that I can't really complain about what I'm putting in my body. But I got to be honest, feeling like that was scary. It was scary, but I also don't know what my other options are. So let's just say I didn't get vaccinated. I live in a place where you need to be vaccinated for some things. I want to be able to travel. Every time when I was applying to jobs, they couldn't ask if you were vaccinated, but they could say, to work here you have to be vaccinated. Is that going to be a problem? So I just want to make my life as easy as possible. That's really how I feel. But I just felt like in that moment, I was like, oh, so either I get the booster and I risk going to the ER every 6 months. Next time I won't go. Or I just feel like you can't leave the house ever again. And I don't know what to feel about. I really don't know how to feel. So it was a fucked up week, end of the week, just going to the ER, because it's scary when you're having chest pains. I don't know much about medicine, but I do know that chest pains is right at the top of the list of things you don't want to have happen. So if you're getting the booster, be careful. And also, it's good to know. So, like, I was talking to the nurse. I don't know what she was, if she was a nurse or nurse practitioner, or I'm not even sure what her title was. But she was telling me that, because I forgot about this. I read an article before, like a couple days before, that the boosters and the vaccines can give you myocarditis, which apparently is like inflammation of the heart. And she said, like, listen, there's no way in 2.5, 3 hours you're gonna get myocarditis. So you're fine. I wish she had basically just told me to leave. At that point, I would have saved 3 hours of my life. But I'm also not saying don't get vaccinated, because who am I to, like, I went and saw Doug Stanhope earlier this year, and he had a joke about it, and I don't want to do the whole joke, but he was basically saying that people who say, oh, I want to see research, like, oh, what if I would love people to just, like, scientists to come out with all the research so they could look through it and they wouldn't know what they're looking at. And that's how I feel. I have no idea. Even if they told me all about it, I don't know what's going on. I just know how I want to live my life and what that means, but I also know I don't want to go to the ER every 6 months. So it was just a crazy end of the week, and just stay healthy out there. I know stuff is coming back. Who knows the news? Just stay healthy. It's scary out there for a pimp, and I think it's tough out there for a pimp, but it's probably also scary for a pimp. And that's just what happened to me this week. So I don't know what the right answer is. And I know these comments are going to be a shit show. All I ask is that you treat everyone with respect. Don't get into fights in the comments. I really couldn't care less whether you're vaccinated or not, what political party you like or don't like, It doesn't matter. We're all the same, and they're all the same, and they don't have our best interest at heart. That's my honest belief, is the vast majority of people in government couldn't give two shits about us. And so you got to take care of yourself and the people you love, and if that means getting vaccinated, great. If you choose not to get vaccinated, I hope you stay healthy. I don't really know what to think anymore, because to be honest, my first thought when I got that booster and I was feeling the way I felt, I was like, maybe I'm never getting a booster ever again. But now a couple days later, after I've relaxed a little bit, I don't know. I don't know what to feel. I just know that it was scary, and I hope all of you in 2022 are healthy and happy and successful. And I love you all. Like I said, no episode next week, but I will be back in January. I believe it's January 2nd is the first. Oh, no, I'm sorry. So it'll be January 3rd. I record these on Sunday. So I believe, it'll be January 3rd. I'll be back with a brand new episode of What Was I Thinking? Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this episode. Go to manscaped.com and use code Syatt, SYATT, to get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Thank you all. I love you, and I will see you in the new year.